on. We got the triple going. I'll get the net this week.
I think I about died for that one.
Fish on, fish on.
Once you got this plug cut figured out, you know what you're doing. It's non-stop action, so we're going to tell you some techniques in a little bit.
That opening scene you just saw was us last summer out on the ocean on a wide open koa and chinook bite. And quite honestly, it's pretty easy to get bit under those conditions with a few basics under your belt. But once you get into the river mouths and up in the rivers and the bubbles, the jetties, where the fish are not feeding as heavily, that's when it's really important to know these little secrets to help you catching more fish. We're going to show you how to select herring. We're going to show you how to brine herring. We're going to show you how to tie your leaders, your hook spacing, your leader lengths. We're going to cover it all. Then, before you take your bait off the tray, make sure it's slightly defrosted. A lot of times if I'm in a rush, I'll put a little river or ocean water in the bag just so they pop off, because if you peel them off the plastic tray while they're frozen, you will leave a lot of the scales on the backside of the bait stuck to the tray. Again, no scales, no flash, less fish. So you punch the hole in the bag. If you have several trays, punch a hole in all those and set them aside. If you want to speed up the process, again, put a little river water in. Okay, I'm going to take my first hook, slide my leader through the eye of the hook like that. It's going to become my tag down to here. Then I make anywhere from 5 to 7 wraps tightly around the eye of the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I pin it with my index finger. Then I go back and get the very tip of my leader material. And I come back and I put it through the eye of my hook like that. And I've still got it pinned with my finger. That's exactly what it looks like. This is the piece of line that's going through the eye. And then I take this line and bring it around anywhere from 4 to 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've got it captured now. It's important that I keep my finger in this spot. Then what you want to do is you want to eliminate all heat from this. So what I'm going to do is take this out of the center for the focus for a second and just wet it with saliva or a little bit of watered down dish soap. Saliva works great. You never want to pull your knots up on dry monofilament because the heat will damage the leader material and weaken your knots. Now I pull all my material through. Make sure it doesn't kink up or wrap around the hook. All right, like that. Get it right down to that point right there and pull it through and pull it under that knot like that. Then I need to cinch it up. And I'm going to use my scissor eye holes or pliers. Cinch this knot up nice and tight. You'll feel it snug up. You'll watch it snug up. Like that. And then if I'm going to be, normally you can snip it off anywhere close like this, but if I'm going to be passing that through the meat of the fish itself, I try to get my scissors in there really close and snip that really close. The Forstner scissors work great. Another thing that works really good is a nail clipper. Okay, nail clipper gets it really, really close, and that's just a great bumper knot. Now, if you're fishing salmon eggs, that's all the knot you need to put your eggs in place and hold your eggs in. But we're going to use this for herring, but again, it's the same bumper knot. Now we need to tie the second one on, and we're just going to repeat the first process as follows. I pick up my top hook, and I put the end of my leader material through the eye, and I pull it up like this until I get the distance I want for my trailing hook. So again, this is going to be my top hook, this will be my trailing hook, and the space between these is going to depend on the size of my bait or where I want to position my hooks on the bait. So again, it's so important that you tie your own leaders to have the flexibility to place your hooks where you want to place them. Now I need to set the spacing on the top hook from the bottom hook. So I'm going to reach up here, grab a herring, and figure out my spacing. Now normally my plug cut line would be right about here. My top hook's going to be right about there. So depending on where I want this hook, if I want this hook trailing like that, if I want it up a little bit closer, then like this. If I want to bury it in the side of my bait, or some guys will bury it on the side of the bait like that. Everything basically is tied where you want it by how you tie it and the spacing you allow yourself. Again, if that's what I'm going to be doing, or if I want it to be like right at the notch of the tail right here like that, that's going to be what? 4 fingers. Okay? Again, you always have your fingers as your measuring tool. So that's going to work great. So let's go ahead and tie this top knot. And again, we're going to repeat the same process we did last time. Go around the eye really tightly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I pass the eye of my leader through the eye of the hook like that. And I pin it down with my index finger. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You go 6 or 7, depends on what you want to do. Then I wet it either with some moisture or a little saliva or some dish soap, whatever it's going to take. And then basically I start pulling it up like that, all the way through. Give it a little tug just to cinch it. And I grab my scissors or my pliers. I cinch it up just like that. That leader is ready to go, just like that.